What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dyad Reacts. Now we have some fantastic news, unconfirmed still, but Variety is reporting, if I go to our browser right here, that the Acolyte, which is that female-led Darksider show being helmed by Leslie Headland, is looking to cast Amandla Stenberg. And if you don't know who that is, I remember her as Rue from Hunger Games, and this is causing quite a stir, at least especially for people in the High Republic circle. What's up, Choco?
Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. Okay, there's so many possibilities with this news that it's so, I don't know, I'm just really excited. We know that Leslie Headland had been talking about this project and saying that it was like an adventure, a planet hopping Indiana Jones feeling. That's why we all thought it was going to be Dr. Aphra.
Yeah,
it's not. But with this casting and knowing that this is coming up at the tail end of the High Republic, now we don't know exactly what that means to them. Is it at the tail end of the era, or is it at the tail end of the storytelling that we're going to be getting from the High Republic through through the books and things that we're getting right now? There's a lot of possibilities, but I feel like, there's the big elephant in the room that we're all hoping this is Keith Trennis.
Here's where I get a little bit disconnected. By the way, before we dive even deeper into this, like and subscribe. Helps out the channel. Leave a comment. Do all that good stuff. You won't be disappointed. And Choco's information is down there too, so go subscribe to him as well. So let me just really quickly visit upon this article. Amandla Stenberg is in talks to join the Acolyte, the series that hails from Leslie Headland, and of course the details are sparse. It is a universe is typically referred to a Sith who has just begun their training under an experienced Sith Lord, which is Acolyte. This of course was prior to Sith Lord Darth Bane instituting the Rule of Two, under which there were only two Sith in existence at a time, one master and one apprentice. And of course there's no response from Lucasfilm or Stenberg's camp. But apparently, and I don't know where they're getting this information. They did, Lucasfilm confirmed it is at the final days of the High Republic, but this here has me confused. For context, the High Republic era is said to have ended about 50 years prior to the events of the Phantom Menace. Now, are they getting that from a guesstimation of around where Dooku Jedi Lost starts?
And that's the question of A, what truly constitutes the end of that era, and B, what do they mean in referring to this? And so that's why I always fall back on this, because we don't truly know what the intended use of the phrasing was.
Yeah.
Even the High Republic in general, when announced, was said like, hey, this is X amount of years before, and it wasn't until more recently that we got Dooku Jedi Lost being mentioned as if it's being part of the High Republic. I don't know, it moves back and forth. It feels like a moving target.
That is true. I think in the latest books of Wave 2, in the High Republic, the Star Wars timeline lists Dooku Jedi Lost and Master and Apprentice as part of the High Republic, which is, first of all, awesome. But things start to crack and then form, and then Dooku Jedi Lost happens, and you start to see people have reservations about the Jedi Order. And so now this show supposedly looks to introduce the shadow of the Sith that at least precedes Plagueis. If my timing is correct, around that time Plagueis would be the one that is training Palpatine.
Yeah, I mean, all we truly know, because obviously the Plagueis book is not canon, and I know what some people are going to say, well, but it doesn't conflict with, it does a lot, actually. so we don't know. All we know is that Plagueis was indeed his master. We don't know exactly when Plagueis died, but if we're looking at that timeline, it would coincide with Plagueis prior to Palpatine's rise, or go behind him, which in Legends, his master was Darth Tenebris.
Yeah.
But it should be around that time period.
Darth Tenebris, of course, was Bith, right? And he was part of Jizz. I'm just kidding.
He was a technologically he was just way into tech, and that ended up being, well, I was gonna say that was part of his downfall, and it actually wasn't. No, it was a mountain was part of his downfall.
But so we are going to go into the possibilities of who Amandla could be playing in this show. But if you want a deeper dive into this discussion, stay tuned for Saturday, Dyad in the Force at 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll be joined by Cat Lady JJ on TikTok, and we will do a deeper dive and talk about what the story could be, what the presence of now a supposed leading actor changes for what we're thinking of the series. But for now, who can Amandla play? Now she is 23, 24. I'm not quite sure, but she is either of those numbers. And if this is truly 50 years before Phantom Menace, then that would be 80, right? Like 80 BBY? 70?
Yes, something like that, yeah.
So
that's...
But Kiev is like... How old is Kiev in 231? It's a little bit out of the ballpark.
So yeah. She would definitely be too old. Definitely be too old. But that's why I'm thinking... I'm curious about what the intent was, especially behind whoever was in charge of the PR that introduced it. Because when this was all first announced, we didn't have any High Republic stuff at all. Yeah. And I'm curious if what the actual intent was. And of course, this is wild speculation. But if they say at the tail end of the High Republic, they could have meant at the tail end of what we are publishing for the High Republic currently. And so that's why my thought went to Keith Trennis, because the High Republic comic run starts with Keith, and we get Keith becoming a Jedi Knight and starting Keith's journey. We also have in Dooku Jedi Lost, which we know that the High Republic story was being framed at the same time as that story was being written, and a Jedi Trennis was mentioned as being among the Lost 20. And so we're watching this journey, and if you've been reading it, she's been through some things. She's seen some stuff, and that foundation is shaky. And so if this is a dark side story, then we could see someone falling from the Jedi there. But it could also be just a random character. We had other reports saying that the character could be a brand new character named Aura, or maybe that's just a code name for her. We don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a code name. I'm with you there. I think if it in fact is, or if what they mean by the tail end of High Republic is the tail end of their publishing initiative, then Keith Trennis does make sense, and of course it goes in hand with the Lost 20. I'm thinking that if it is not the case, and if it is closer to Phantom Menace, we would need like a line of people. And I think even Trennis's line of descendants may still make sense, you know. Mm-hmm. And I will speak in abstracts here. If you are not up to date with the High Republic main comic run, she has to do a lot of things for the sake of the mission that just would break the best of us. And so it makes sense that she's on this trajectory, but I also kind of think that if it is to be someone else, it could be Lula. Something could happen, you know. I mean, we're going into wave 3 right now, and things are looking really things are looking really sad and dark for the future of what was once the Golden Age Jedi. And I only imagine, like, all right, so this isn't like a prediction, or I don't have any insider information, but like I only imagine like Zine, something happening to Zine and Lula, like something happens to Lula as a result. And is there any other possibilities? Is Indira still alive? Ty Yorick?
Indira is still alive. Yeah, and that's the other possibility I want to bring up is maybe we can get something that's alien led. Maybe Amandla could play a Mikian or something, you know? I think that would be cool as well.
I like that idea. I really do. I like even Zine being the one, you know, because her story and adventures has started out to be all light side and just like such a loving environment. With the backdrop of Fallen Star and what we're about to, you know, uncover with Wave 3, it would make sense, and I would not fault any of the Jedi for having temptations of the dark side.
I do have a prediction though.
Go for it.
You ready for it? A hard prediction. I think that they're gonna find some type of she's gonna find some type of a holocron, a round one. If you have not read Crimson Reign, go read it. But there's an artifact. It's literally the first frame of the comic, and I wanted to find it. We know that this could be opened with either side of the Force.
Do you think that we could possibly also get, and this is just really quickly, I know this is like a tangent, but maybe we could get some Bane lore?
Absolutely. I think that's the purpose, is to introduce some of that lore. And if the goal of the new Knights of the Old Republic game is to bring it into canon, I think this would be the place to introduce some of that lore as well.
Either way, we're pumped for Amandla Stenberg if she in fact is cast. Again, the article says that they're eyeing her for the role and nothing has been confirmed or no one has been cast officially. I mean, I speak for the both of us. Acolyte is probably the most anticipated show coming out of all of the shows, simply because we just don't have dark side lore. And well, we do, but sprinkles and bits and pieces. But anything we get.
Along with that, yeah, it's anything we get, but also to step into new realms, to tell new stories. You know, I think Star Wars needs to be made to feel broader and bigger and wider. As much as I love seeing more stories about the characters I already love, I want to get the new characters as well. Ahsoka was once a new character.
But with that, that'll end this episode. If you want to, again, see a deeper dive and conversation around this news, join us on Dyad in the Force, Saturdays at 5 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to our channels, and follow us on socials. And that'll do it. That's the end. On to the next one.
For Light and for Life,
we are all the Republic.
And may the Force be with you, always.